Have you ever watched a franchise desperately scramble to fix mistakes they never should have made in the first place? The Golden State Warriors find themselves in exactly that position right now, and their latest move might just be the lifeline they need to salvage what's been a disastrous offseason. After months of puzzling decisions and head-scratching inactivity, the Warriors are reportedly on the verge of bringing back a familiar face, one who knows exactly what it takes to win championships in the Bay Area. Payton II, the defensive dynamo who helped anchor Golden State's 2022 title run, is apparently set to return on a 2-year, $7.9 million deal that could inject some much-needed energy into a roster that's been spinning its wheels all summer long. But here's what makes this story so fascinating, and frankly, so frustrating for Warriors fans who've been watching this organization stumble through one of the most important off-seasons in recent memory. While other contenders have been making aggressive moves to improve their championship odds, Golden State has been stuck in neutral, paralyzed by their own indecision, and seemingly unable to execute even the most basic roster construction. Let's be brutally honest about what we've witnessed from the Warriors this offseason. It's been nothing short of a masterclass in how not to build around aging superstars who still have championship-level talent. While Stephen Curry continues to defy Father Time and Draymond Green remains one of the league's premier two-way players, the front office has been fumbling around like they're playing their first game of chess. The Jonathan Kuminga situation perfectly encapsulates everything wrong with Golden State's approach. Here's a 22-year-old athletic freak with legitimate two-way potential, exactly the kind of player every championship contender dreams of developing alongside their veteran core. Instead of locking him up immediately with whatever contract it takes, the Warriors offered a 3-year, $75.2 million deal, and then watched as both sides apparently decided they'd rather part ways. Think about the absurdity of that scenario for a moment. You have a young player with all-star upside who's already proven he can contribute to winning basketball, and instead of doing everything possible to retain him, you're essentially encouraging him to explore other options. That's not roster construction, that's roster destruction. Mike Dunleavy Jr. deserves significant blame for this mess. Yes, he pulled off the Jimmy Butler trade that could transform the team's championship aspirations, but that one brilliant move doesn't excuse the systematic failures we've seen elsewhere. A general manager's job isn't just to make one spectacular trade, it's to build a complete roster that maximizes every championship window. What makes this situation even more maddening is the ripple effect it's created throughout the rest of Golden State's free agency plans. While Kuminga sits in limbo with his contract decision, other key pieces are stuck waiting for clarity on their own futures with the organization. Al Horford, the 5-time All-Star who could provide exactly the kind of veteran leadership and playoff experience this roster needs, remains unsigned. D'Anthony Melton, a solid defensive guard who fits perfectly into Golden State's system, is in the same boat. Even Payton II, despite reportedly being close to a deal, has had to wait longer than necessary because of the organization's inability to prioritize and execute. This isn't how championship organizations operate. When you have a limited window with generational talents like Curry and Green, every day of delay is a day wasted. Every moment spent in indecision is a moment your competitors are using to get better while you stand still. The most frustrating part? These aren't complicated decisions. Payton II proved during the 2022 championship run that he's exactly the kind of role player who thrives in Golden State's system. His point-of-attack defense was absolutely crucial during that playoff run, and his ability to make winning plays without needing plays called for him makes him invaluable in big moments. Let's dive deeper into what Payton brings to the table, because this signing represents much more than just adding another body to the roster. Over his 194 healthy games with the Warriors, Payton averaged 6.2 points on impressive .592/.353/.708 shooting splits, along with 3.0 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and 1.0 blocks. Those numbers tell only part of the story. What made Payton so valuable during the championship run wasn't just his individual statistics, it was his ability to completely disrupt opposing offenses at the point of attack. He's the kind of defender who can take elite guards out of their rhythm, force them into uncomfortable positions, and create the kind of chaos that championship teams need in crucial moments. At 32 years old, Payton might not be quite at the defensive peak he showed during that title run, but he's proven he can still be a difference maker. More importantly, he understands Golden State's culture, knows how to play alongside Curry and Green, and brings the kind of championship experience that you simply cannot teach. The proposed 2-year, $7.9 million deal represents excellent value for a player of his caliber and experience. In today's inflated market, finding proven winners at that price point is becoming increasingly rare. This is the kind of smart, efficient signing that championship teams make while their competitors overpay for flashier names. But here's what really keeps Warriors fans awake at night. This Gary Payton II signing, while positive, feels like a band-aid on a much larger wound. The fundamental issues with this organization's approach to roster construction remain unresolved, and time is running out on what could be Curry's final championship-caliber seasons. The Jimmy Butler acquisition was supposed to be the centerpiece of a championship push, but even that move feels incomplete without the proper supporting cast around him. Butler's intensity and two-way excellence will undoubtedly make Golden State more dangerous, but championship teams need depth chemistry and the kind of role players who know exactly what their job is when the lights get brightest. Payton II represents that kind of player. He's not going to put up all-star numbers or generate highlight reels, but he's going to make the kind of winning plays that show up in championship moments. His familiarity with the system, his proven ability to perform in high-pressure situations, and his willingness to accept whatever role the team needs make him invaluable. The question now becomes whether Golden State can build on this foundation, or if they'll continue to stumble through decisions that should be straightforward. Can they resolve the Kuminga situation in a way that benefits both sides? Will they secure the other role players they need to complement their star power? Most importantly, can they create the kind of cohesive unit that can compete with the elite teams in both conferences? What we're witnessing with the Warriors right now is a test of organizational commitment to championship excellence. It's easy to talk about competing for titles when you have generational talents like Curry on the roster. It's much harder to make the difficult decisions, execute the complex trades, and construct the perfect supporting cast that actually delivers those championships. The Gary Payton II signing suggests that Golden State understands the value of proven winners who fit their culture. It shows they recognize that championship teams need more than just star power. They need players who understand their roles and execute them flawlessly when it matters most. But one smart signing doesn't fix an entire offseason's worth of questionable decisions. The Warriors still need to prove they can maximize this championship window through consistent, intelligent roster construction. They still need to show they can balance present needs with future flexibility. Most importantly, they still need to demonstrate that they have the organizational focus and execution to compete with teams that have been more aggressive in their pursuit of championship-level talent. The clock is ticking on Stephen Curry's prime years, and every decision from here forward will determine whether this latest championship push becomes a triumphant final chapter or a missed opportunity that haunts the organization for years to come. So, here's what I want to know from you. Do you think bringing back Gary Payton II is the smart move Golden State needed to make, or is it just another small step when they needed to take giant leaps? This signing could be the beginning of a championship-caliber roster coming together, or it could be the Warriors settling for familiar faces instead of pursuing the game-changing additions they really need. Let me know in the comments whether you believe this move signals a return to championship form or if you think Golden State is still missing crucial pieces. And if you want to stay on top of every Warriors move as this wild offseason continues to unfold, make sure you hit that like button and let me know what other storylines you want to dive into next.